What up, everybody? What's happening? This is Puddles, the StreamYard official mascot. I picked up Puddles while I was in Los Angeles back in September at the Vid Summit, where they had a little booth for StreamYard, the service that we use to do this live stream. So what's going on, everybody? We're back again. It's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. We are here doing kind of a surprise live stream. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get this one off because, usually get together with family, and sometimes family just kind of takes over. But tonight wasn't the case. Everybody went home kind of early, and we're back again here on the live stream. So thanks for tuning in. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern with coffee and cigars. So hopefully you'll come out and join us if you like it, or leave comments down below if you're watching the restream. So thanks for watching us. But we're here again every Thursday. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Thanksgiving. I've got a little bit of a hat on today. This is the Saints and Sinners Private Social Club from Tatuaje. It says 12 because it's the 12th year. And I thought I'd share with you a little bit about the club. It's a private club that's run by Pete Johnson and Tatuaje. And every year they send the members the members kit that has a variety of different things. So I thought I just got mine this past week, and I thought I'd share it with all of you. So one of the items in the kit is this hat, and I think it's kind of dope. There's a little bit of the Saints and Sinners logo here, this new Doce logo, which I think looks pretty cool. Like, it's actually, I don't really wear hats very much, but I thought this one was kind of cool. What else came in? Let's have a look at what came in the kit. I'll show you on the overhead cam. So we've got here, we'll zoom in just a little bit. And then we might need to adjust our lighting. There we go. That's a little bit better. So as you can see, they give us a challenge coin. So if you're out meeting club members, and the idea behind challenge coin is that someone will call out the challenge coin, and everyone has to produce their coin, or even their membership card. I think works fine. But if you don't, you get hit. You got to buy the cigar. So you also have the membership card for the year. I've been a member, as you can see here, since 2015. Doce meaning that it started 12 years ago. So obviously the club started in 2010. So I've been a member for a little while now. And then let's have a look at the cigars they give us. And this year they're giving us this 2-pack from CRA, or to benefit the CRA, Coffee Rights of America. So those are, I think, box pressed. No, well, a light box press on these two. Some years they're different. So there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see it better actually on the screen, but this one's a little bit lighter than this one, a little bit darker. So there is a shade difference. So it's probably two different cigars. And if you're watching and you happen to be a member, then you've already opened them, then let me know. The next one is this 10-pack of what are labeled Ambos Mundos, right? But evidently, from what I've been told by other members, these are not Ambos Mundos. These are something else that they had bans for. I don't really know. I haven't smoked them yet. What's going on, Mom, man? Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for joining me tonight. And so that's what there. Then we have the main box. So the main box every year comes in, and there's usually 15 cigars. And the 15 cigars are really 3 sets of 5 cigars. And that's what we got again this year. If you happen to have seen the video on the main channel, that's actually coming out tomorrow. There's a video on the Ono Live channel that comes out actually doing the unboxing of this. And so as you can see here, we've got our 5 different cigars. Let me turn it on this way. So the 5 different cigars are here. They finally changed the banding. Like, these have typically, where you see the blue, it's usually been red for the last 10 years or so. Now it's this baby blue, so kind of cool. But there's 5 different cigars, 3 sets of the 5, and they don't really tell us what they are. They just kind of send it to us, and then you smoke through them and then figure it out. But there's quite an assortment this time, as you can see, with wrappers, sizes, shapes. So it should be quite interesting. What I typically do is I'll smoke the first 5, kind of get a feel for them, and figure out which one do I like more. And then I'll smoke the second set of 5 and just enjoy them. And then typically, or lately, I've been leaving the third set of 5 intact and have just been keeping them as a reference library. I don't know. I don't know why I keep certain things, but I probably shouldn't. Should probably smoke them. And that's pretty much it for the box and the stuff that comes in it. Had to step away for just a second to turn on the exhaust fan here. There is also, in addition to the hat, they do have a shirt. This Saints and Sinners. I haven't opened it up. Well, let's open it up now. We can see what it looks like. I'm presuming it has this logo on the back. Let's have a look at the front. SNS 2022 on the front. And then, oh, okay, nice. This Doce logo, that's pretty cool. I kind of dig that. I'm digging on that, all right. Now I'll never fold it up properly. So where are you guys tonight? What are you guys smoking? Are you guys at home? How was your Thanksgiving? What did you guys eat? Like I had, my family, we're Filipinos, so we had the traditional like turkey, garlic mashed potatoes. My brother likes to make the garlic mashed, stuffing, cranberry sauce, gravy. What else do we have that's really traditional? That's pretty much of the traditional stuff here. In Baltimore, evidently, people are really into sauerkraut. My family doesn't do sauerkraut, especially not for Thanksgiving. That seems a little bit, I don't know, odd. But oh no. But we also have rice, and we had a couple Filipino dishes, the apretada and this squash, coconut, and green beans, as well as pumpkin pie and chocolate pie, apple pie, vanilla ice cream. We had something called, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but basically we put this thing called latik on top of it. Basically, it's this sweet, like mochi rice kind of thing with basically coconut milk that you cook down until it crisps, and you have those little coconut milk crisps on top, and oh my gosh, it's super, super good. But yeah. Let me get rid of this hat. I don't normally wear hats, so it's kind of odd for me to wear a hat. Plus, it's a bit hot, so. But it was good. My brother cooked up the turkey. We had some French fries. We had the deep fryer running, so I had the French fries made. And then my dad wanted to cook this particular chicken a certain style, so we did this whole Sprite-based marinade, and that turned out well. I mean, a lot of stuff turned out well, and just a lot of good eating. So that was always very nice. All right, so let's move into it. We're going to be getting in. So if you might have noticed, today's live stream is actually across 3 channels, and it's our normal Ono Live channel. I'm also I'm simulcasting this on the main channel, Ono Coffee, just to see how it does and handle that. And then, of course, we're doing our restream, our simulcast on Twitch as well. So if you're watching from any of those, let me know where you are. So today's coffee is a red Katuwai from Miranda Farms in Ka'u. And this is a Miranda family. They're the father and mother emigrated from El Salvador, started working in the fields of Kona for other farmers, saved their money, and eventually bought their own plot of land and have built their farm. And they've won some awards with some of the coffees they've submitted to the Ka'u coffee competitions. This is their regular red Katuwai, and it's 100% grown in the Ka'u district, which is the southern part of the island, of the big island of Hawaii, which is south of Kona. So if you're familiar with Kona, Ka'u is south of that. My Spro actually buys a lot of coffee from Rusty's Hawaiian Coffee, which is, of course, Rusty's mom. And So this is just another farm I happened to visit. The daughter of the owners is a friend of my cousin, and he kind of introduced me to them, and they were kind enough to give me this bag. It says a little bit dark roast whole bean, so it's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's dark like a Starbucks dark, like it's a dark-ish. Maybe it's definitely more of a, if you can see here, it's a little bit on the darker side. It's a little bit more of a full city, maybe full city plus, more than full city, right? It's just starting to get that aroma of, like, it's starting to get a roasty aroma. It's not really a roasty aroma. Like some places you get really hard roasty aromas. Like someone gave me a coffee once where, you know, they're good friends, and they gave me this coffee, and it had a really dark roast on it, and you could just smell the burnt acridity of it. And I was like, oh, I couldn't say no, but that was a difficult coffee. But anyway, we're going to take it with pre-grounded. 24 grams of ground coffee here, as you can see, right? We're going to be using today the Rattleware cupping brewer, this kind of crazy little brewer that is a kind of a double chamber with a plunger. The plunger is not really a plunger, it just kind of separates the two chambers. You've seen this before, we've used it on the show before, and we're going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our coffee, we're going to put it in, as you can see, it goes all the way down to the bottom, which is great. And then we're going to add the water. So I'm going to add the water. I'm just going to get it really kind of rolling so that it gets as turbulent as possible. We're going to bring it to right about there. And we should start our timer. Let's get the timer running here. 4 minutes. Good. Ah, Rusty, what's going on, man? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Nice to see you here. How you doing? What did you guys have today at your house? You know, Mom, let me know too what you're having at your house. What you had at your house today. We're making the Miranda's coffee from Ka'u. It is a red Katuai. And we're just starting on the brew. So basically, we're just going to wait for it to do its thing. That should take 3.5 minutes. Now, the thing is, what you're doing is that here, the purpose of this brewer is to simulate or as closely replicate an actual cupping scenario with a brew of coffee that can be shared amongst multiple people in a more quote-unquote hygienic manner, right? So when you're doing traditional cuppings, you're using you're sharing, you're using spoons, and you're taking samples from the same vessel, where this allows you to brew the coffee, pour it out into individual vessels where people can taste. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit of a different brewing method and style, while trying to replicate the neutral results of cupping coffee. Now, as you can see, there's a crust here on top, and we're going to have to break through that crust eventually. And we will be doing that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down for a second. Let me go grab some spoons. All right, so I got a basic demi-tasse spoon, which is a really small spoon. Normally use a cupping spoon or a soup spoon size kind of spoon. The idea here is that we're just going to be using this to break down the crust that's floating, allow it to fall, and then we're going to use this plunger, the stop. I guess it's more of a stopper than a plunger, to separate the coffee grounds in the lower the lower part here, this wasted part, and that kind of thing. So Rusty says smoked turkey with the standard sides. Nice. But I also did a roasted beet salad with walnuts. Oh, that does sound good. And goat cheese, charred Brussels sprouts with toasted coconut and cane vinegar. Now, was that just for you and Amy, or did you have more people involved? For me personally, like, it was interesting. Like, we cooked a lot of food, but I only ate, like, when it came to eating, like, I ate a very small amount. Like, a little bit of turkey. We had a big tenderloin, a little bit of tenderloin, some mashed potato, and that was pretty much it. Then later I had a little bit more turkey bits, and then a little bit later had some pie, but I didn't really eat like en masse. Like, most of the time, as all of you know and probably have experienced today, is, you typically eat and eat and eat, and you're like gouging yourself, and you feel you just need to lie down after a while. I didn't quite. I still had that like sleepiness, but I didn't feel like uncomfortable, which was a nice change. And Rusty says the stuffing had lots of herbs and chorizo. Oh, that sounds great. And a ragout of pearl onions and pancetta. Jeez, a ragout too. My gosh, this is what happens when you when you have a chef that makes it. Amy and the in-laws, excellent. And then Mom had turkey, ham, chicken, meatballs, roti. Oh, nice. Mac and cheese. Oh, yeah, we had mac and cheese too. Excellent. Yellow rice, collard greens, string beans, jerk chicken, stuffing, and more, and a lot of sweets. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great time too. That sounds like a great time. Like, for my family, we tend to eat. I don't know about you guys, but my family, we tend to eat like around. As a family, we tend to eat around 1, maybe 2 o'clock. So kind of like a late lunch kind of scenario. We don't really have a dinner time thing. I don't know how, if you guys do dinner, you use more of a lunch, mid-afternoon kind of Thanksgiving. I'm always fascinated by those families that do have the dinner setting. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I've just never had that in my experience. That's all. All right. So how are we doing here? Are we close? Oh, we must have finished because the timer is gone. I don't know. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down this crust. Let me pick this up here so you can see it. So I'm just going to slosh it and not be very gentle about it. Just, of course, what I want to do is lose the floaters and have them. Really, I want them to fall. Let's see if they're falling here for you. Unfortunately, it's dark enough that must be some pretty dark coffee because I can't even see through it with the light. So have you guys been watching the World Cup? I have not. I'm actually going to watch the USA versus England tomorrow at 2 p.m. A friend of mine has, he's such a psycho for the World Cup. He rented he rented out a closed cafe and has brought big screen TVs to do World Cup showings at all times for the next 2 weeks. Like, before, the last time of the World Cup, he asked me if we could use Spro for one of the locations. I was like, yeah, man, of course we could totally do that. But this time he's gone whole hog and has now rented out a cafe to use. All right, so what we're going to do is now it's time for the plunging part. I hope everything has gone under there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to drop it in, and I'm just going to use the stopper to separate and prevent the coffee that's down here in the wasted part of the brewer. And I'm going to pour it into this mirror insulated cup. So this is the mirror cup, nice and kind of compact. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pour. Oh, I better not do it that way. Let me do it up here. So you hold on to this to prevent it from spilling over, which you don't want it to spill over. Oh, and Rusty says that not 2 p.m. USA England's at 1 tomorrow. Oh, okay. All right, I will make sure that we watch it. I got to message my friend about going to it. All right, so we've got, it does have that kind of darker aroma. So I'm using 24 grams and about 350 grams of water, 24 grams of coffee, ground coarsely, 4-minute brew time. Definitely the roastiness is coming through, which I think is a shame because, if I think of comparatively to Rusty's mom's coffee, it's very delicate. It's very there's very nuanced coffee, and putting this, and if we were to presume that their coffee naturally is similar to Rusty's mom's coffee with nuance and depth and complexity, a lot of that is being kind of flattened by this darker roast profile. Yeah, it's just not as, it is a bit flat. All right. Let's just move on. Time now for the main event, which of course we got our cigars this time from Rolla Tobacco Leaf in Jessup, Maryland. As always, a great place to go and smoke. Today's cigar is a little bit of a special cigar. It's only released once a year, and it's been released once a year for the last 12 years or so. We have North Tech 6. First time here watching the UK, just bought a box of the Year of the Rabbit. Oh, hey, man, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the show. It's not Thanksgiving there, but thank you. We appreciate you being here for absolutely. And it's kind of early in the morning, so even greater thanks for being here. I hope you, I'm curious to know, buying it in the United Kingdom, how much is it there? Because here in the United States, this cigar is $50 a stick, $10 each, so $500 US for the box. And I presume that in London or in the United Kingdom, it must be a little bit more pricey. But I certainly appreciate you being here with us today. All right, so we're going to look at this Davidoff Year of the Rabbit. There it is. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this when you were looking at I don't even know if you even noticed the thumbnail art, but you can see a little bit of rabbit here. I did kind of drop Bugs Bunny on the thumbnail for the Year of the Wabbit. Now here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I stopped by Rolls the other day, and I bought these cigars, and I was like, I just bought them. I wasn't even paying attention. I said, oh, this has finally come out. I've been waiting for it. I'm going to get it. Put it in the bag, paid for it, left the shop. I did not know. Oh, 699 pounds. Whoa. So a good $220 premium. My goodness. Oh, from Davidoff directly, I think. Wow. That is pricey. I mean, everything in the United Kingdom is more pricey when it comes to cigars. I remember one of the last times that I was there, I went to Fox in Mayfair, I think it is, and had a cigar, a Cuban cigar that ended up being 55 quid. And I was like, whoa. So you guys are definitely have a little bit heavier on the taxation than we do in the United States, at least. This one, I think, was right around $50. I haven't even looked at the receipt, but when I looked it up, when I was looking it up earlier today, and I saw, oh my gosh, $50. I was like, oh, no wonder these, because I bought 3 cigars, and the total came to like $83, and I was like, $83? Oh, whatever. And I figured they were all kind of 30, and not 50. But anyway, whatever the case may be. So, but at $50 a stick, that it has to be said, that's a significant amount of money, even for Davidoff. And at $50, one would expect this to be stellar. Like, I think that's something that has to be said, and I think that's something that we have to put on any manufacturer that comes out with a cigar at such a dramatic price point, that it has to be something that we should find superb, right? Essentially flawless. So let's find out. So it comes in this nice cello, right? I'm going to take it out of the cello. So this is a perfecto size or shape with a little bit of this, I don't know what they call it. Pigtail cap. Look at that. Stop showing my face. And then the perfecto tip. Now here's the wrapper. Oh, come on now, what are you doing? So there's the wrapper. It's a little bit rough. Like, it feels a little bit rough. Feels a little bit rough, a little bit on the drier side, a little bit more of a drag as you pull the fingers. There was a cigar I had the other day. Oh, I think it was it was an Aganorsa, man. That thing was just beautiful, like sexy wrapper. Like, the wrapper, maybe it was on last week's show. But I remember I was looking at the wrapper thinking, wow, that looks just brilliant. This is not, the wrapper doesn't feel that way. But what is this wrapper? So evidently, according to the guys at Half Wheel, they're saying that this double perfecto uses an Ecuadorian hybrid 238 wrapper over a Mexican San Andres Negro binder and 5 different fillers, 4 of them from the Dominican Republic, a Piloto Seco, a San Vicente Ligero, a San Vicente Seco, and a Yamasa Viso. And the 5th is Seco from Esteli, Nicaragua. Davidoff says the average age of the filler tobacco is 4.5 years. Now, here's something that I must say is nice and surprising. Like, and I made this comment on the show many times over. I'm really surprised, pleasantly surprised, that Davidoff has released this much information, right? Piloto Seco, San Vicente Ligero, San Vicente Seco, Yamasa Viso, and the 5th is Seco from Esteli. Now, you hear a lot of these manufacturers and they're like, oh, I can't tell you anything because it's a trade secret. Okay, I get that, trade secret, but really, who's going to copy it, right? Like, if you really have control over your production, your sourcing of your tobacco, your pre-industry of your tobacco, your storage, your blending, your aging, I mean, who's really going to be able to copy that? I think it's if it's like in coffee, if like in the coffee world, it's very difficult, right? So kudos to Davidoff for being willing to, share more information, because, I think that by sharing more information, it just gives the consumer more information to appreciate what they're enjoying, right? And, here's here's a $50 cigar. What tell us about it? Well, I can't tell you anything. It's just got wrapper, binder, filter. What? I'm glad we're not in that. I'm glad we're not in that situation. So small pigtail, which they say is a rare feature, which is actually a cool feature. Like, look at that pigtail. I think I wish you could. There we go. Look at that pigtail. I think that looks pretty cool. So hard to hold the focus. Oh, there's Mad Mofo. What's going on, man? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you're smoking. And North Tech, if you're smoking this, have you smoked one yet, or are you smoking with us? That'd be great. I'd love to hear more of your thoughts on it. But the banding is nice. Like, here's the banding. I like the little representation of the rabbit. I think that's cool. So evidently, for the United States market, there are 6,500 boxes of 10 that are available. So that's what's happening here. Anything else that we're having? Anything else that we should know? I mean, I got to say the packaging is really well done. I need to grab the cutter because I don't have it over here. All right. I got this Zycar MTX cutter right here for the Wabbit. We're going to cut it. I think it feels a little bit dry. I don't know if that's because it's been just sitting in the bag for the last day. All right, let us begin. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. There's things that happen on these holiday shows that I just forget to do. I need to print out our grading form. That'll just take a second. So let's have a look. So it's a little bit rougher on the wrapper than I would have hopefully liked. Smelling the exterior of the wrapper, it's very mild. You know how some cigars, they give you this heavy barnyard or manurish kind of flavor or fragrance. This does not have that. It's very mild, mellow, maybe like a light barnyardish or something like that, but it's really, really much milder than what we're used to. North Tech says, I haven't smoked one yet. I only received them yesterday. Going to let them stay. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Hopefully, I mean, I bought this Monday. I bought it Monday, kept it in the bag. I hope that did not impact it in a negative manner. All right, we got our cigar grading form. This is what we're using to grade our coffees. I mean, grade our cigars. And what we're doing, so if you haven't seen this before, we're looking at several different categories, 10 different categories. We're looking at the wrapper, just the general condition of the wrapper by color. Then we're looking at the fragrance cold draw, flavor, and body in thirds. So for each of the thirds. Then we're going to be evaluating the total burn and draw, the consistency, and then finally the overall. Each of those will receive a score between 6 to 10, 6 being average, 7 being good, 8 very good, 9 excellent, and then 10 for extraordinary. And then those equal 10 each category. Those totaled will equal up to 100 points. And then we rank them by their points. And I think this is a little bit, the idea behind it was to kind of formalize the way that we taste cigars and try to objectively review them because you see a lot of these reviewers and they have these numbers and everyone's in their 90s, 93, 94, 95. But what does that mean? Like, are all cigars made in the world essentially the same? I don't think they are. And I think there's a lot of inconsistency in the way people review cigars. And so this is just an attempt to bring some level of consistency. So now we're going to do a little bit of cold drawing on it. There's interesting, right on the tongue, there's kind of this light cheese sweetness. But again, relatively nondescript overall. Like it's not punching with any kind of notes. It's just kind of this smooth, mellow, lightly sweet, lychee kind of sensation on the tongue. All right, we're going to light up now. We're going to use our matches from Davidoff, which is Time Beautifully Filled. Oh, that's quite pleasant. I was originally turned on to these matches by a director named Tony Scott, the brother of Ridley. And I was working with him on a movie called Enemy of the State back in 1998, and Tony Scott was an avid degenerate cigar smoker, I would say. Morning, noon, and night, nonstop smoking Monte Cristo #2 Havanas. But he was the guy that turned me on. He was like, Jay, these are the matches that you need to use. I was like, oh. And back then they were the cedar type, or at least dyed to look like cedar. And ever since then, I've always kind of enjoyed using them. I haven't used them in a long time, but we did a show last September in 2021 at the Davidoff Lounge in Ridgewood, New Jersey. And Gary was kind enough to give us a couple extra matchboxes. Thank you, Gary. All right, let's lay it out. Now, the nice thing about this little Perfecto foot is that you don't have to light too much. Whoa. All right, here's something interesting. Just on the lighting. Maybe it's something from the matches or whatever, but there was a initial burst of a little bit of spicy, a little bit of something interesting that's kind of like signaling, okay, now you should start paying attention. I'm getting a little bit of uneven burn. Look at that. That's not making me happy. Now I don't want to puff on it too hard. Let's kind of like get this feeling with these small tips that you want to, bring it faster on, but I think we got to beware of that. And I don't know what happened, but the band just fell off as I was lighting, so we're going to leave that off. So what are you guys smoking tonight? Let me know. I want to know what you're smoking. Are you guys outside, inside? Here in Baltimore, it's kind of cold to be outside. Yeah, there's George Shen. What's going on, George? How are you, man? Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. How was your day? What'd you do? What'd you eat? And what are you smoking tonight? And those of you watching that are interested, that might be curious about participating, drop some comments in. Love to hear from you. Let me know what you're smoking. Always want to know what you're having, what you're enjoying on these evenings. So we're starting off the first few puffs, and it's like I said, on the lighting, it gave this kind of like a little bit of spice. That was kind of like, hey, I'm maybe you should pay attention, but it hasn't really blossomed into more of that of like attention grabbing. Let's see what happens. Mm. There's starting to be a little bit more complexity and depth. The burn is still weird. Look at that. That thing is burning weird. Not happy for $50. Now that the lit part has grown into the larger part of the vitola, it's starting. Of course, it was tight because it was really narrow, the draw, but the draw now is getting to be nicer. I don't think that coffee is very complimentary to the cigar. It's right now, there does seem to be some good complexity to the cigar, but it's a very mellow cigar. Trying trying to get that retrohale going on. I am not successful at it. That gives a little bit more of an interesting twist to it. Thank you, George. Went to my aunt and ate everything. Excellent, excellent. And just lit up a Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real. Excellent. I hope you enjoy it. It's not too cold outside tonight for you there, George? Tonight we're still on this year of the Wabbit. So, you know, when I think about it from the perspective, there's this like strong line right down that weird crease, right? Ah, he's comfortable. Excellent, excellent, excellent. When I think about the price point of this cigar, $50 US or 80 pounds in the United Kingdom, like I kind of feel like I want it to be fanfare-ish, right? Like I want it to be like bam, bam, bam. Like this is an amazing cigar, and I'm beautiful, and I'm strong, and I'm excellent, and I'm all about giving you an experience. This is so far. This is not that. This is, I guess, very much in the Davidoff fashion, a much more refined experience. Like there's complexity, there's some depth. Now I'm getting a little bit in the nasal passages, some spiciness to it. Like now there's more complexity happening. But it's not like, it's just kind of this building of complexity. Kind of which makes me feel like the way to describe that is the gentleman's complexity, right? Like I can see the Circassian guy sitting down with his suit in the leather lounger at the Davidoff lounge and just refinedly, I know that's not a word, but refinedly enjoying his cigar, right? This, as it develops and gives you an experience. So right now we are starting to get more complexity. Interesting. But it's not the complexity and the spice that you have in a lot of other cigars where it's really kind of forward and kind of on your palate. Like this is a really, on my tongue and on my palate, it's very mild. There's complexity, there's spice, but that complexity and spice really comes through the nasal passages. And I'm not even very good at this whole retrohale thing. So I think it's really interesting. So Novtek says, I'd really like to be joining you in your smoke, but unfortunately I'm at work on a night shift. It'll be a good contrast to flavor note. It'll be good to contrast flavor notes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not getting it. That's the thing about this cigar. It's, for me, it's not really coming out with like, you know, with like, I'm black pepper and I'm nutmeg and I'm this and I'm this and I'm that, right? This is just kind of this complex, smooth, just journey. We're still early, so I'm going to find out, but I hear you. But I will be interested, though, Northtech, to let me, when you finally do break into your box, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on this. And I have to ask, you know, Northtech, what do you do that you're up so late at night, working overnight? I know that I think the tube closes at 12, so you can't be doing that. Yeah, it's not like a lot of the Nicaraguan cigars that we have here in the US where it's very much like punchy. It's very kind of mild. So here we had this kind of run of the groove here. Now it's appeared on this side, right? What's up with that? Like, I don't know. Is that really affecting the cigar's flavor? I'm not clear on that. All right, excellent. Oh, engineered Heathrow. Ah, okay, gotcha. I was watching a video the other day on YouTube where the guy was at Heathrow, one of the gentlemen, and the video was about how you guys have to remove the rubber from the landing aircraft, like 10,000 pounds at a time. And I was like, whoa, that's something that even though I fly quite a bit, I've never really thought. I mean, you see the streak marks, but it never really occurs to you that, well, you have to, somebody has to go out and scrape that off. I was like totally surprised by that. Surprised. I think the well, it's not so new now, but the new United Tower, the new United Terminal. I think you call it the Millennium Terminal. Nice, really nice. When I finally got to Heathrow after you guys had opened that, I was like, oh, this is a nice place to go. This is a nice place to hang out. I have spent many hours hanging out at the. I spent a little bit of time at the United Club there. Nice, but I prefer to go to the Lufthansa Senators Lounges. They're much nicer. Well, hopefully tonight at Heathrow, it's going to be quiet and smooth. Man, because I can't imagine what happens at airport. Like, not having a good day at the airport is probably a really bad day for a lot of people. Yeah, this coffee is too roasted. It will obscure the flavors of this expensive but complex but rather delicate flavored cigar. It's not, like I said, it's a white glove experience. It's not punching you. It's not like putting on a boxing glove and hitting you in the face with flavors. This cigar is reminiscent to me of many other like special R's that I've had in the past. Smooth. It's always smooth. This has a little more complexity and smoothness compared to like the special R. Definitely more complexity, definitely more spiciness to it, but still very smooth, very refined. George, how's that R&J Reserve Royale doing for you? I always find it interesting. Like there was a couple of years where I spent Thanksgiving away in Uganda because I was doing a competition there. Actually, this year they were asking if I wanted to come there and do the competition at this week as well. And I was like, we got a lot of stuff going on. I really don't want to schedule it then. But it's always interesting to be away from America on Thanksgiving because, it's something that here in the United States, people that live here, Americans, it's a very big holiday here, like massive holiday. And to be away from it in another part of the world that doesn't observe that is just an interesting thing because at the hotel that I was staying at the time, they did prepare a turkey dinner. So you could get a turkey dinner. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. We're on the other side of the world, away from the United States. And here I'm at this hotel and I get turkey dinner. That was kind of nice. It was kind of nice. George says that the R&J Reserve Royale is fantastic. Excellent. Glad to hear it. It's definitely building in the complexity. It's the power. It's the body. The body, I'd say, is more of a mild to medium body. It doesn't have the power. Like a lot of those cigars have power. This one is much more mellow. Which I guess I'm making a big fuss about it because it's compared to the cigars I normally have, it's kind of unusual. Northtech says, I agree, some Davidoffs can be incredibly smooth with almost indistinguishable flavors, but the creamy textured smoke is always pleasurable. I agree with you on that, definitely. So I'm curious to know in Northtech, if in London, do you go out to have a cigar? when you're having a cigar, are you going out to a lounge, or do you normally do it at your home or private spaces with friends, or how does that normally work out for you? Like, I'm only curious because the times that I've been to London, it has mostly been smoking at Fox, and then one time my cousin, I was coming to London just for like a night or two, maybe 2 nights. Yeah, it was 2 nights. I was coming to London for 2 nights, and my cousin lives somewhere outside of the city, like an hour outside the city. And I told him, hey, I'm coming to town. Let's get together. And he's like, you're coming to town? Now, I'm the older cousin, right? So there's for some reason, there's this level of respect. I wasn't expecting it, but he was like, let me get you a hotel room. I'm like, you don't have to get me a hotel room. I will be fine. Let's just meet up and have a drink or something. And he's like, no, I insist. I'm going to get you a hotel. Fine. Okay, get me a hotel. I'm very pleased with that. So he rents me a room, reserves me a room at a hotel in Earl's Court. So I make my way. I get to Heathrow. I take the tube. I make to Earl's Court. I get there. I go to this hotel, and man, it's 90 quid a night. And this hotel, I may have told this story on the show in the past, but this hotel was like a drug den. It looked, I mean, if it wasn't a drug den, it looked and felt like a drug den. Like it was just ratty and run down. And I've been in some pretty, strange places, but I honestly was scared to stay here. I was like, oh man. But my cousin paid for it, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tough it out and I'll stay one night. So he rented 2 rooms. So he's in for this for 180 quid at this point. He finally comes to town, and he sees the hotel. Poor guy, man. He's so embarrassed. Like, he's super embarrassed. And he's like, oh my God, we have to go somewhere else. And I was like, no. I said, dude, that's all right. You paid for the rooms. Let's just stay here tonight. Be fine. We'll be fine. I don't know if we'll be fine, but I'm saying that we'll be fine, right? Because I know he's embarrassed, and I don't want to prolong his embarrassment. So he's like, no. I'm going to get you another place. So he finds another hotel, quite literally around the corner. A much more posh hotel. Like, it's really nice. It's like 250 quid a night. And poor guy, man. He's like, I got the room. You'll be good here. And I'm like, we get that a little bit. Well, yeah, this is pretty dope. It's a pretty dope place to stay. And he's like, and I'm like, where are you staying? He's like, oh, I'm gonna go home. I was like, what do you mean you're going home? He's like, I can't afford it anymore. Because now he's into it for nearly all, like 450 quid, right? He doesn't. I don't think he makes a tremendous amount of money either. So he's like, oh God, this is crazy. And I'm like, no, all right, you're gonna go home, but you could stay here at the room. I don't care. It's like, and I was like, let's go out for some drinks then. Let me take you out for some drinks. And I look up some places, and I find a place, the Wellesley Hotel, right there right by, I think it's in Kensington or something, right? So we truck over to the Wellesley. I don't know if you've been there, but they have a really nice like cigar lounge area, and they have a nice like outdoor seating area. And it was a time of year that was relatively mild, so the maitre d' is like, if you're not a guest of the hotel, there is like I don't know, 50 quid minimum, 100 quid minimum, whatever it is per person. And I was like, and now I'm the one that's embarrassed because I'm like, well, I can't say no to this concierge and say, well, let's go smoke outside somewhere, because it's like, oh my gosh, because I already know my cousin's into it for like 500 quid. I can't like say 200 quid and be like, oh, I can't do this, right? So we ended up sitting there, getting some cigars, getting some really nice, really well-made drinks, but having a really nice time there. Really nice time. All right, here we are. I mainly smoke at home in some nice scenery, but I do frequent cigar lounges often. But some are quite a travel from home. Okay. Yeah, I guess if you certainly if you're living out by Heathrow where you work, I imagine that Mayfair would be quite a ways, or even the Wellesley would be quite a ways to go for sure. Unless you have some favorite spots in London, I would definitely be interested to know that. And George tells us he's going to give Davidoff their due. They make cigars. Most of the ones I've had on the Motley, I think for those of us that smoke a lot of these Nicaraguan style cigars with a lot of the peppery spices, we find Davidoff to be much more milder than what we're used to. But when you get a Davidoff that's good, man, it's really quite pleasurable. Oh, I just dropped the ash. Let me just sort that out. So the ash just fell. That could be a little bit of a problem. Let's see. A little bit off in the light, but let's see if we have to touch it up or if it'll just route itself out. And George is also interested to know if you've ever smoked at Sodders in London. I have not. Maybe North Tech has. I'm not even sure where Sodders is. Let's see. Share the screen. Sauter Cigars, Mount Street and Raphael Street. Okay. Where is that? I don't know London very. Oh, it's also in Mayfair. Okay. So where is? See, I don't know London very well. Oh, Havana, James Street. Oh, here it is. Fox and Davidoff are here. Oh, Sauter's over here. I have not been to Sauter myself. Oh, they had ventilation. That's a nice thing to see. Oh, nice outdoor seating. Oh, guy wearing a tux. That should be me. That should be me. Oh, it looks like a good selection there. Oh, some indoor seats. Oh, nice. I will have to check that out next time I happen to be in London. And then North likes the Bulgari Hotel Cigar Lounge in Knightsbridge. Oh, I didn't know that Bulgari had a hotel. My goodness. Bulgari. Ah. Oh, Edward Sakai, Sahakian Cigar Shop and Lounge. Ah. Wow, Bulgari Hotel. That must be quite nice. Oh, yeah, nice setting. Oh, that's all the pictures? Ah, come on. These guys need more. They need more photos. Oh, it looks like we have a little bit of a private dating. I definitely need some private dating going on there. Oh yeah, hot girls. Yes, please. Hot girls, more hot girls. Nice, nice. I like that. I like that. I have to remember those places. Right, I gotta say, so we're now to the point where the dropping and the unevenness in the burn did not have any measurable effect. So it has recovered well and is smoking really nicely. There is really good spice and complexity. It's just not heavy. Like it's got spice, it's got complexity. It's just not heavy. So really, that actually, it's getting to be quite nice. Now, is it $50 nice? I don't know. I don't know. Ah, nice. So, North Tech, are you watching us on the Ono Coffee channel or the Ono Live channel? I'm actually simulcasting on both channels tonight. Where I haven't broadcasted this show on the Ono Coffee channel in over 6 months. I actually moved it to a separate channel. But today I was thinking, I could put them out there, and I'm thinking that what I might do is I might run both channels for a while, and then but not have it on the Ono Coffee channel. I'll pull the video off of the Ono Coffee channel and not make it public, and then it'll be archived on the Ono Live channel. I mean, the draw is great. The burn has been great. I mean, very good, very good. We're getting a little bit of extra burn there, getting close to the band, so I'm going to take that band off. A little rabbit. I do kind of dig the rabbit. Oh, okay, great. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Okay. I just put that up not like yesterday or the day before. So I'm glad you found it. I'm glad you found it. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and run about 2 hours. And I try to do the show regardless of where I happen to be in the world. So like last week or 2 weeks ago, I was in Hawaii. Next week, we plan to be doing the show from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where I hope to kind of be there and see some of this World Cup fervor. Like I think in London, there's definitely more fervor for the World Cup in the general public than there is here in the United States. Here, it's more pockets rather than mass craziness. And the United States, plays you tomorrow. Or, yeah, is that tomorrow? That's tomorrow. So it should be interesting. I'll let North Tech answer that one. Yeah, the burn is nice. It's not getting too hot or anything like that. It's really, really a nice, pleasant. All right, excellent. Yeah. Rusty, he's broadcast. He's watching us from Heathrow Airport from work. So why he's up such a crazy hours. So at Heathrow, is it most at this hour, since it's the middle of the night, like in the early morning now? Are you guys having more? Is it more cargo flights that come in at these hours after midnight to like say 5 a.m.? Because I think you guys are still busy 24 hours. So is it more cargo that comes in, or is it still a balance of passenger and cargo? Oh yeah, major upset. But the Saudi people were super excited. There's one girl I follow that I know who I follow on her Instagram, Rwani. She was just going crazy about it. I was like, oh, fantastic. So I am kind of curious to be there whenever their next game is, to see what happens. Yeah. This is a nice cigar. It's very good. It's at least very good. The smoke has been good. Smoke has been good production. The smoke production has been good. Draw has been very good. Complex, spice, body is not too heavy. Oh, actually, I should be reviewing this. I'm not even writing down the result. And no pencil. All right, let's have a look at the scoring. Okay, so we've got our grading form here. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can get a little bit easier to see. There we go. So I would say the wrapper, kind of there. Fragrance is really kind of on the low side. Cold draw also low as far as what was coming in. Quality-wise, I'd say very good. So 8. Now our flavor, so body, I would say mild on the body. But the quality of the body, I'd say 8.5. So very good plus. The flavor was, I'd say about the same, very good plus. Now, what do we say? We're through the second, third? No, not yet. We're still in the middle of the second, third. Okay, so we'll come back to that as we continue. I think there's definitely an improvement in complexity and pronouncement and of the flavor, of the spice. Like, it's definitely more enjoyable now. Right now, it's more enjoyable than it was here. So, the only thing that I'm not enjoying is how the coffee pairs with the cigar. It doesn't pair well at all. It's not the correct choice. I'm thinking that I should go grab a Diet Coke. It's just too roasted. That's really the problem with this particular coffee. It is their dark roast, and that's just too much roast in the coffee. Like, you're just putting that heavier roast in the coffee just removes any of the interesting complexity of the coffee. So that's a little bit disappointing. But as you can see, I don't know if you noticed, but this episode is episode number 120. I was thinking about that just a little bit earlier today. I was like, oh, 120 shows. That's quite a lot. Rusty says, ditch the coffee. Don't spoil a $50 cigar. You're right. All right. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to go and grab me another beverage. I'm going to leave you for a few moments with a little bit of the Cigars and Burns. The cigar cam. All right, good call there, Rusty. I've got one of my favorite libations now. We've got the Diet Pepsi, the Diet Coke, good Lord. That'll be a nicer. I think that'll be a nicer accompaniment than the dark roasted coffee. I mean, the ash burning well. It's a little bit grayer than other cigars we've had. It's not as white, so the magnesium isn't as high in the wrapper leaf. But still lit. Still smoking really well. Funny how a $2 bottle of Diet Coke. Exactly. I think it's more just what I like and what I'm used to. Like we used to drink a lot of port wine years ago with the cigars, and that was always a pleasant. I think there's something about a sweetness to a beverage that kind of can complement a cigar. One of the ports that I really enjoyed years ago with cigars was the one called the Quinto do Vesuvius. That was really nice. I think it's still a very well regarded port today, but that was really something that I enjoyed a lot. So I'm gonna tap it because I just don't want it falling. There we go. Oh, I do like that. Nowadays, it's easy Diet Coke or unsweet tea. I really like unsweet tea. What I like with the Diet Coke is the acidity. That phosphoric acid just has a nice little crispy burn. Okay, a little bit of a weird incursion here, as you can see. This is the third time this has happened on this cigar. I'm not sure. I'm curious. I would be curious to know if someone has to answer why this happens. George Brightman, if you're watching on the replay, let me know what you think. You know, one thing I'm curious for you guys that are watching, I'm curious to know, how does the video look? Like the quality of the picture. Is it sharp? Is it clear? The reason I ask this is that on my monitoring here at the desk, it looks very clear. The camera that I'm running is a 1080p camera. So the image is sharp, but like the StreamYard server only streams it at 720p. So it downgrades the quality of the image. I'm just curious to know, like, is it really sharp or is it a little bit fuzzy? So what's been happening in the world for you guys? Don't really know what's going on in the world. This week that I've been home has been really a catch-up week. You know, I've just been kind of like trying to get everything done, and you know, because it's Thanksgiving week, you know, what is normally 5 days is only 3. So there's a lot to really get into. And actually, for me, it's only 2.5 because, you know, a group of friends and I always get together on like the night before Thanksgiving. Like last night, we always get together and, you know, have what our typical thing is to get together for Korean barbecue. For the last maybe 10 years, we've been doing this. We'll go get Korean barbecue, and then next door to the Korean barbecue place is a Korean karaoke joint. So we'll go do barbecue, then do karaoke. So we start the dinner at like 6 o'clock, go to karaoke at 8. We're there till like 11. And then last night, a few of us after we're done, we're like, let's go out and we got to keep going. So we tried to go into this town that had like 3 different bars. They were all super slammed. Like we couldn't even get in. So it's like, oh man, what are we gonna do? So it's like midnight or so or later. Let's just go to Denny's. But we don't want to go home. We just want to go out, hang out. Went to Denny's, hung out there until like 2 in the morning, and then went home. It was a good time. It was a good time. Did I film a 2022 Ono Coffee gift guide? I did not. I did not do a gift guide this year. Part of me just, I guess the truth is, part of me just wasn't into doing one this year. Like back in October, I had started to compile a list. I probably had 5 items on the list. And then part of the intention when I was in Hawaii, I was going to shoot that video. So my plan was, I was thinking that I was going to shoot the talking part of it, just talk about the different items, and then use insert shots to create the entire video. But really, I just wasn't really into it. I don't even know if I was into it last year when I did the last one. I was into it the first year in 2020. 2021, I wasn't so into it. I did it because I was thinking I did last year's video mainly because I was like, maybe it'll drive more views, and it didn't. So I was a little bit disappointed. I think that's part of it. I wasn't so into it this year. I was a little bit disappointed in last year's performance. I probably should have done one, but I really just haven't had much time this fall. It's been really busy as far as, going to different conferences and going to competitions and running them, and then, shooting other videos. So it's like, I haven't had a main channel release in like 3 weeks. So finally, I've got a main channel release coming tomorrow. On Saturday. Trying to get back on the schedule, but since I've been away so much, it's been a lot harder for me to actually sit down and edit the videos themselves. Like I was at Patagonia in Honolulu, and I thought about including this. They had this little tiny stove, this folding metal stove that would fold down flat. It was only about yay square, right? And it was kind of tall. The idea is that you're putting your pot or your cooking vessel on top of this little tower, and you're making fire on this stove using twigs. So it's meant to be a flame fire, a wood fire oven or a stove. But it was cool, and I thought about buying that and using that as one of the items, but I don't know. I just wasn't as into it this year. Oh, there's Tony. What's going on, Tony? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Enjoying a Fuente Rare Pink and a diet chair. Oh, Fuente Rare Pink and a diet. So is Fuente Rare Pink a cigar? Let me see. Oh, it is. Okay. Let's have a look. Fuente Rare Pink. Ah, nice. Oh, am I 21? I am not. I don't really care. Vintage 1960s series, A Time for Change. JFK, MLK, VPK, The Stones, Joplin, blah, blah, blah. The Good, the Bad, and Ugly, when experimentation ran rampant, yet consciousness rose to the highest levels. People sought meaning, guardrails were broken, pink flowers bloomed. This era marked the young Carlito Fuente for life, becoming an out-of-the-box artist who changed norms and said blah, 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 blah. Wow, that's a lot of blah, blah, blah. Nice. So which one are you having there, Tony? The Queen of Hearts or the Work of Art or... Oh, no, I guess Signature. I don't know. Are these all... I guess these are all... Oh, they're all rare pinks. Oh, nice. I like the banding. Trying to... Oh, yeah. That's one thing I was very good at today. I did not go crazy with the eating. Never did I reach a point of like feeling bloated. Well, having the Work of Art size. Okay, let's have a look at that again. The Work of Art, 4660. Oh, 4660. Oh, yeah, 46260, 4.875 inches. I'm curious about this sophisticated hooker. So I'm curious to know, Tony, where did you get it, and what was the cost on that? We're smoking here tonight the Year of the Wabbit from Davidoff, and it has actually been getting better. Like I'm enjoying it now, like more than I was here. Like it is building. It is building into greater enjoyment. Actually, since we're at this point, I should do the scoring for the second third. You know, I like I said, I think it had improved. I don't think it has improved flavor wise tremendously, but I think there's definitely improvement. So we're going to go to 8.75. Body has remained static at 8.5. All right, we're going to see where we go after this. Picked it up in Temecula for $24.95. No, that's not terrible. Not when this is $50. Excellent, excellent. George wishes you a happy Thanksgiving as well, Tony. So, Tony, what did you guys prepare out there? I saw on some of the text message you were smoking your turkey. Is that correct? Rusty, from what I recall, smoked his turkey as well. Rusty, in your case, are you using, what kind of smoker are you using? And do you have a preference for woods? Basing on the time, right now in Baltimore, the time is now 9:21. And it's I'm a little bit surprised to see the time and how much of the cigar I have left. Like, I'm feeling like the cigar is smoking pretty fast. And I honestly, I tend to be a pretty fast cigar smoker. And I don't know if am I smoking closer to my normal speed, or am I just not talking as much? Because sometimes I think the length of the smoke on the show is elongated because I tend to be talking a lot more. And there's a little bit of this weird aberration again. Here you can see that little bit kind of dipping in. I'm not sure why that's happening. But there is a vein right there. You can see that vein. So I wonder if that's kind of giving a little bit more of a pathway. But this is the fourth time we've had something similar. And it's almost like there's twins. You can see two of them right there, right, kind of parallel. We'll see how that develops. Rusty says he bought a Pit Boss pellet smoker as an early Christmas gift for FIL. Smoked with fall blend pellets. Apple and hickory. Okay, cool. How long did yours take? 3-4 hours? Is that right? Oh, 20-pound turkey, 9.5 hours at 250. Wow. Okay. You know, we smoked turkeys. I smoked turkeys in the past, and I thought the results can be really wonderful. Today's fry went okay. Like normally when we fry the turkey, man, it's just perfect. Like it's beautifully like moist. I think for some reason we went a little bit too long. We pulled it at 150, and I didn't check the temperature as it rose because I figured 150 would be fine, but it was a little bit on the drier side, you know, and I was a little bit disappointed on the white meat. I think maybe next time we might do it again for Christmas because I'm a little bit irritated with the result. But I think that if next time we do it, we got to probably go for maybe 140. Plus, also, I think other things that we didn't do as good a job as we could have done brining. Like we were a little bit behind the curve. We were a lot behind the curve this year. Well, you know, whether we're doing wet brine and then drying it out, we were just behind the curve. So I wasn't thinking too hard about it this year. And I think that I do, you know, it has bit me in that respect. I'm going to tap it out a little bit from this point. So North Tech, you know, this is smoking really well. This is really, really good. Like it's definitely at this point, it's getting a little bit. I'm hesitant to say that this word because it may give a little more of a more negative impression than I really intend. But it has got a slightly sharper, but that's not meant in a negative way. And Tony used his brother's Rectech 23 pound, 7.5 hours, and it turned out outstanding. Excellent, excellent. Oh, Rusty's, oh, excellent, excellent. So if you guys aren't familiar, Rusty on his Instagram channel will do, it's Obra Cooks, OBRA Cooks on Insta. Oops. Obra Cooks on Instagram. And he does occasional live food reviews. It's quite entertaining. You should definitely check it out. So we're doing figgy pudding flavored Spam. What in the world is figgy pudding? I heard there was a new flavor. I did not hear what that flavor was. Let's have a look. Oh, live from Obra's kitchen. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. Figgy pudding. I don't even know what is this thing here? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Honestly, I don't even know what figgy pudding is. Is that even I guess, is it pork with ham, sugar, water, modified potato starch, spices, natural flavor, water, tannic, natural flavors. Oh, okay, okay. So it is a pork product. I've never heard of this. Where is this from? Oh, 2-pack. Okay. Oh, interesting. Figgy pudding holiday charcuterie board. Whoa. When you put Spam on a charcuterie board, that's some confidence. That's confidence in Spam. Yes, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what you think about this. Definitely. Yes, remember, live from Obra's kitchen, not what I put up there. Huh. Oh, here it is. Still asking what is figgy pudding? Yes, I'm still asking. The Spam brand has created a soon-to-be classic animation and song to reintroduce consumers to this holiday treat. The brand has assembled all the holiday characters, including Santa, reindeer, elves, a Yeti, and of course, the holiday hog to sing "We Wish You a Figgy Christmas," decked out on a stage inside of a snow globe. Viewers are watching. Oh, interesting. I would run this video. Unfortunately, YouTube tends to hit us with copyright claims, so I cannot run that on this. But that's all right. We will find out. I'm looking forward to your video, Rusty. Let me know when you're going to put it up there. We're gonna check that out. Check that out. Tony says he wet brine butter on the breast and dry rub. Nice, nice. My father wanted to do a chicken. He saw some video somewhere about a chicken, so he kind of spatchcocked it, and then he put it in this this marinade, this kind of brine, salt, sugar, Sprite, water, garlic, onions. I think he soaked it overnight or smoked. I know he soaked it for a few hours, a couple hours, and then we fried it. Unfortunately, the problem is that with all that sugar in the brine and on the chicken, gosh, the oil looks pretty dark now. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can use that dark. Oh, look, free Vert Girls chat. Excellent. Yes, I want that. Private dating with girls in the chat. Yes, please. And then Tony adds mesquite, hickory, and charcoal pellets. Oh, nice. What's the intention? What's the theory behind doing the charcoal pellets? Is that just to add heat without any kind of smoke, or is there a certain type of flavor that comes out of it? I've seen some people, doing that in some videos. I didn't really pay attention to what or why, but oh, so much nicer, that Coke. Oh, also, Tony, you mentioned in one of the videos maybe a week or so ago, that Zippy's has you're the one that brought up the fact that Zippy's has their chicken seasoning available. I did find a bag of that on the day that I was leaving, and I brought it home. And I have been playing with it here at the roastery, testing it out. I'm not sure what Zippy's is doing, because the flavor is right, but it's also very kind of not muted. But what I want to do is I want to salt the sucker more, right? So I wonder if they do like some kind of salting of the chicken before they roll it in the powder, and then they deep fry. But the ones that I've tried, I've definitely had some very nice results with the frying. Charcoal pellet, yeah, I've seen it in videos, but I don't really know why they're doing it. Yeah, even now that we're getting here, right? It's smoking really nice. There's a nice spice to it that's not heavily pronounced. The spice is there. There's a good complexity. I guess the best way to describe it is very Davidoff-esque. There's a smoothness. There's a refinement. There's a pleasure. There's a pleasurability to the spiciness. Because sometimes you get the spiciness and it's just a lot of spice forward and just kind of very front-facing. This is not that. It's not a lot of power, right? Like, let's say I smoke some of the Rona Craft, you get this, it's powerful. It's like the nicotine or whatever it is hitting you. This is not that. This is smooth and mellow and complex. It bumps up the smokiness on the pellet smokers and increases the BTUs. Okay. There we go. Some more efficient burning to get the temperature. And Rusty says, speaking of chicken places, Popeyes had a secret menu item for sale. They were selling frozen turkey for $60, already cooked but marinated and seasoned. Oh, yes. Actually, a friend of mine a couple of years ago, she wanted to, I don't know if she bought one for her family or she wanted to buy one. But she had to drive. At the time, they were only doing it at a place in Laurel. So she had to drive down there. I don't know if she ever got, I should ask her about that. I would be interested to try the Popeyes turkey. But if you call ahead from the 50, So $110, and it's already deep fried. Could be worth it. Do you know if they were seasoning it like the Popeyes chicken, or was it a different type of seasoning? Popeyes fried chicken turkey. Oh, that could be quite amazing. I think I would be very interested in that. One thing I'm not having yet, I'm saying yet because I don't know if it will happen, but we're down pretty heavily far into this. Sometimes you get down here and you get this buildup of tar, buildup of heat. That has not happened yet. Maybe it's going to start now. See, good smoke production. Maybe a little more heat right now. Maybe a little more concentration of spice as we're getting closer to as the heat is getting closer to the tongue. Maybe I'll wait a few moments, let it kind of mellow out a little bit before going back to it. I think same Popeyes. Ooh, my. That does sound good. Tony says that barbecue joint here won $110 for a 15-pound smoked turkey. Whoa. Not when you have the smoking technology for yourself. I thought about smoking the turkey this year, but I'm a little bit concerned because I haven't really looked into it. But on my smoker, like over the summer, I tried smoking it early in the year, and I think the auger seized, and I unjammed it. And then I was using it again, and I think it seized again. So after that, I kind of emptied it out, and I haven't really used it because I haven't really what I want to do is tear it apart, inspect everything, make sure everything's well lubricated, and then because I don't want to be in the middle of a real cook and then like, oh, now we've got a problem and have to tear the whole thing apart. We're already planning ahead of a smoked prime rib for Christmas. Nice, nice. I went to a place in Hawaii. It's like a hole-in-the-wall joint that I've always gone to. Back in the 90s. Went down there. The owner, Felix, is still there. He's an old man now. And he always had great deals. Back in the 90s, you go in there on a Friday and you get the prime rib, this big prime rib cut for $10. It's double that now. It's $23, $24 for the prime rib cut. Oh, man, so nice, so nice. How do you approach prime rib there, Brussie? My cousins were actually asking me we were all out last weekend. My one cousin was like, maybe you should, for Christmas, we should do a crown rib. He was like, a crown of prime rib. I said, dude, I don't think they I don't think they formed the prime rib into crowns. That's only for lamb. But I was thinking, oh, we should go for a prime rib. Oh, here's Brian. What's going on, Brian? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for tuning in. How was your Thanksgiving? What'd you have? How'd you prepare your turkey? So far, we've had fried here. We have 2 smoked, baked, or should I say roasted? 110 for a 15-pound one and smoked in San Diego, or 110 for a deep fried one from Popeyes. And George got 11-pound prime rib for Christmas. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Bone in with a garlic and herb crust. Oh, man. So with the prime rib, are you guys like? I don't think I've ever cooked a prime rib. I've done a lot of tenderloins. I don't think I've done a prime rib. So are you guys doing like a low roast or low bake first and then going to high temperature to finish? Or are you kind of running it high the entire time? Oh, Brian had the wood oven running with the pheasant, but no turkey. Oh, that's interesting. So you're cooking the pheasant in the oven. Are you doing it whole? Or are you spatchcocking it? And what kind of temperature are you running that oven? How many will be feeding on this prime rib, George? 6 to 7 people also doing ham. Oh, nice, nice. I think hams are really interesting. Like I still don't know what kind of ham I really like. I mean, the spiral cut honey baked ham is always kind of fun to eat. My cousin brought the ham today, and she had this kind of honey glaze on it. It was nice. It was nice bone-in ham, but looked a little more formed. But I haven't really found a ham that I think is really the best kind of ham. When we were young, my dad got a Virginia ham, the salted ham. I still don't really understand how those work. Like you're supposed to soak them in water and boil them for a while to like reduce the salt. some of these classic American cooking I've actually never done or don't really know much about. So Brian said he did the whole thing brown. It browned deep in the oven, then folded and finished by the oven door. Ah, okay. Nice. Pheasant. I've never tried pheasant. I don't think I've had pheasant. Is it good? And how do you prepare it? Do you do a brine on it, or are you doing just salt or? So coming right down to the end, and it's not appreciably gotten hotter. The smoke and draw have been great. The flavor has been consistent, like super, super consistent. There's definitely more of the spice and flavor of the cigar is definitely more pronounced now than it has been at any other time. So there's been a progression. Like when we started off, mild with a little bit of spice and complexity. And then as we smoke through, that spice and complexity has grown, but it's never overwhelmed. It's always been kind of mellow and smooth and very Davidoff-esque, as I've said, until now. And it's just smoking nice. I'm feeling a little bit of heat on the finger right here. Like, it's good. It's really good. Like, I don't want to put it down. I want to suck on it more. Tony says he had 2 spirals from Costco, both smoke with one with a spice. You had 2 spirals. Good Lord, man. How many people are you feeding out there? Turkey and 2 hams? Must be an epic party out there. Russ says if I'm cooking a prime rib in the oven, you take the exact weight and multiply it by 5. This is your cook time. So for George's prime rib, 11 pounds times 5 is 55 minutes. Is that at 350 or 250 or what temperature are you running that at? And Brian says that the pheasant tastes great with lemon juice, lemon in the cavity, and rosemary herb mix on the skin with some basting. Oh, nice. Oh, 14 people. Oh, that's a lot. At this point, I feel like I want to tap it because the ash is so much longer than at this point, the ash is longer than the rest of the cigar. But I think that it might expose too much heat if I tap it. So we'll see. So preheat to 500. Make sure the rib is room temperature for cooking. Cook in the oven for 55 minutes. Timers goes off. Shut off. Leave the oven for 2 hours. Oh, okay. I remember that. So you really kind of make use of that cascading temperature to kind of glide the cook through the rest. So you get that 500 really chars out the exterior and then kind of bakes it off. Is that correct? That's the theory. Ryan, we haven't seen Steve. I'm kind of curious to know how his Thanksgiving was, with his Filipino wife. What dishes are they having? That's something we'll have to remember to ask him for next week. So Brian says he missed most of the show. Is the rabbit awesome? Is it awesome? Is it awesome in the terms of cigars we've smoked in the past where it's really kind of like fanfare and pronounced flavors, spice, and kind of stronger body? No, it's not that. This is something that the only way I can describe it is something much more refined. The cigar started out really mellow and mild and then grew in complexity and spice, but never like in your face. It was always just a steady growth, refined complexity, much as you'd expect that guy Sahakian sitting down with his suit, smoking a cigar elegantly. That's what it's an elegant growth of complexity and flavor. I figured you were going to say this, but really it's not. It's not. The moment of reflection on that isn't about that. I'm trying to convince myself that it's very, very good, but it's very good in a very different way than most cigars that we smoke on this show. This is a very different animal. Yeah. It's the complexity is very satisfying. Like, it's been a very satisfying smoke. Now, it's a $50 cigar. And as North Tech, who's out in the United Kingdom, said, he paid 80 quid per stick. That's how much. I think he was gifted it, but so it's quite an expensive cigar. The aroma is relatively pleasant, but I do have a very strong extraction system here, so it's pretty much pulling it out pretty quickly, pretty efficiently. So we don't have a lot of that hanging out here. So back to the prime rib. This has done a couple times. Turned out pretty perfect, excellent, and nice and medium rare. That's what we want. Yeah, for today's tenderloin, my cousin was working on it, and I was kind of helping her, and it was like, we're gonna hit it 375 and let it roll for like 35 minutes. And then she was like, but it's supposed to be an hour. And I was like, well, you have to look at the temperature. So got a nice crusting at 375, we cooked through at 350, 375, and then I bumped it up to 450 for the last like 15 minutes. Got a little bit of crusty on it, and then brought it to about 120, 123, and then pulled it out. And at that point, it was really nice because the ends were, a little bit more towards the well done. So one of my other cousins, he really likes well done. God knows why. But the center, beautifully pink, beautiful, medium rare. But $50, like I said, $50, man. $80 or 80 quid in the United Kingdom. Ooh, man. If you're a fan of Davidoff, you're already used to $30 a stick. $50 for a limited edition, which is $20 more, is not. It's not appreciably. Well, I mean, it's not dramatically more. And I think it does have a greater spice and complexity than, let's say, a Special R. And I'm not wanting to drop this ash, so I'm really bringing it all the way down. So, yeah, probably it's probably worth the $50. Like, I don't regret spending the $50 now that I've smoked it. And I'm kind of trying to figure out, how do I hold this? Like, my fingers are starting to burn. How do I hold this in a way that I can effectively get another draw without crashing it, without burning? There we go. So, yeah, great cigar. Great cigar. Yeah. Oh, God, I can barely hold on to it now. The wrapper's starting to slide off. I'm going to have to put it down. I am totally at the very end of possible smoking without a roach clip. There it is. I put it down. Let me show you. The wrapper is just about to fire. It is. The wrapper has fallen off. There's only this much of the cigar left. I mean, that's as smoked as you can possibly get it. So let's have a look at our cigar rating. I'm going to have to say we have had definite improvement in flavor throughout the cigar. Where we start off at very good plus, we moved on. It definitely improved into the second, third, but I wouldn't say that it was excellent. It was still very good, so that's why we're 8.75. But I'm going to say it's improved even more in flavor. I'm going to go to 9. The body has always been a little bit on the lower side, maybe a little bit more. So maybe we can go to 8.75 here. Burn and draw have been excellent. Maybe even better than excellent. Maybe we'll go to 9.5. Consistency I mean, it's been beautifully consistent throughout. I mean, I'm gonna say 9.75. Now let's say overall. So we're at 8.85, 8.5, 8.75, 8.5, 9.9, 8.75, 9.5, 9.75. I'm going to have to say excellent for that. So, I mean, we're really talking some heavy duty numbers here. So let's do some addition. 8 plus 17 plus 8.5 plus 8.75. Oh, darn it. Let me do this again. 8 plus 17 plus 8.75, 8.75 plus 8.5 plus 9 plus 8.75 plus 9.5 plus 9.75. Oops. Which is the highest score I've ever given on the show, ever. Plus 9. 88.25. I'm almost 100% sure that this is the highest rated cigar ever on the show. You're smoking all the way down. I know, but at the level that I smoked it down to, I don't know if even the tool would be very helpful at this point. Like, that was quite dramatic. All right, let's pull up here our. Let me pull this up here so you guys can see it. So we got 88.25. Oops. Today is the 24th. Oops. So number 120. So let us sort. And should be no surprise, the number one cigar of the year is now the Davidoff Year of the Rabbit 2022 with 88.25 points. Wow, that's really excellent. Surprising. When we started out, I wasn't sure how it was going to do, like, especially at the $50 price point. That is considerable. Yes, we do. That is a considerable amount of money to pay for one cigar. $50 is a lot of money. So, but I must say, I think that we were handsomely rewarded with this expenditure. And here's the interesting. So, 88.25 is our highest scoring cigar of the year, which is higher than last year, I believe, right? We started the system last year. Oh, no, that's not it. We started the system this year. So that's our highest one. But the interesting is that, But the interesting thing is that 88.25 is still dramatically lower than a lot of the other cigar scores given by a lot of other people. Other guys are giving 93s, 92s, 95s. We're not even into the 90s, but this is definitely an excellent cigar. It's excellent. Celebrate with Diet Coke? Absolutely. There we go, right here. Diet Coke. All right, well, I guess that wraps it up for this week of the Thanksgiving episode. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, wherever we are. So next week, I'm actually supposed to be They haven't sent me a ticket, so I don't know. But theoretically, I'm leaving on Sunday to head out to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to run their barista championship over the next week. So next Thursday's episode will be from Riyadh, somewhere in Riyadh. I don't know exactly where. But I'm not sure exactly what the cigar is we're going to be smoking, but that's what we're going to have. The worst part is I had to buy 2 boxes, one to smoke. Well, I think you'll be well rewarded. You and North Tech will have lots of good smoking to have there. All right, we're glad to have you there. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, North Tech. Good. Looking forward to seeing you again on the show. But that's going to be it. So next week, I'm not sure it's a cigar. I'll figure that out and be sure to post that on both on Instagram and on YouTube to let you guys know. But until next week, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope it's going to be a great week for you. Mom, always good to see you out there. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, see you next week and have a great one.